Forget everything you know about growing African violets. Today, I'm taking you on a journey into my LECA-filled world, where these delicate African violet beauties thrive in a way you might never have imagined. And trust me, you'll want to stick around to the end because I have a surprise plant new to my collection that's going to blow your mind. Let me take you on a tour of my LECA-loving African violet family. First up is this gorgeous beauty. Look at those fabulous pink blooms. It is just amazing. This plant is thriving and going from strength to strength. I love how those leaves are just gorgeous. They're firm. It's a deep green color. And look, just from the number of blooms that this plant is having, I think she's telling us that she's really, really happy. This is the pot that this plant is growing in. It's a 14 centimeter pot and she is growing in LECA clay balls. Nothing else. There's no potting mix in this. It is just LECA clay balls. Oh my goodness. Oh my, this plant has been blooming for weeks now and it's so happy. We're coming into spring in Melbourne and oh my gosh, I had to show you guys this. There's also a lot of new leaves that are in this plant as well. And yeah, I'm really, really happy with this pink one. You will notice that I'm not saying anything about what this plant is called. I love African violets, but I am not that deep into the African violet growing that I don't know names. I just go into a store, I see an African violet, I buy it. I like the look of it, I buy it, and that's it. I've decided I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. I do enough of that with Hoyas, but I just love the way that looks. So beautiful, looking amazing. I used to grow my plants in potting mix, carefully mixing my own potting mixes, worrying about drainage and constantly battling fungus gnats. But then I discovered LECA, those lightweight expanded clay pebbles, and it was like a breath of fresh air for my plants and for me. It's clean, it's airy, and it's like spa treatment for my African violet roots. No more root rot, no more soggy soil nightmares. It's so easy and even a beginner can do it. I've always been drawn to African violets. They're like little works of art, each one unique and special with their velvety leaves and vibrant blooms. But LECA has taken my love for these plants to a whole new level. It's not just about the ease of care. It's about seeing them flourish like never before. These vibrant colors, these abundant blooms, that's the LECA difference for me. Next up is this mama. Look at her. This plant is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. She's got those little flowers that are white and tinged with some purple. Oh my goodness, it is amazing. And you can see from here that this plant, of course, is living in semi-hydroponics as well. So she's got that reservoir there, and that's where I have my nutrient solution. So this plant always has access to water and nutrition. My plants are never thirsty and they're never hungry. And because of that, da-da, look at how amazing this plant is doing. She is so good, and those blooms, you can see there's more that are still coming out. They haven't opened yet, and those leaves are just looking fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I am loving how this plant is getting on, and just, yeah, I will not grow my African violets any other way. They absolutely love LECA clay balls. And when I was growing my African violets in soil or potting mix, I'd have trouble keeping them watered. I was always either underwatering or overwatering, and as such, the leaves of my African violets tended to be quite tiny. They weren't as rich looking, they weren't as juicy, if I can use that term. But since I switched to LECA clay balls, the guesswork of watering has been completely taken away. I never have to think when I fertilize or when I didn't or stuff like that. My plants are just eternally happy. All right, next one is this plant over here. This one is not in bloom just at the moment, but look at those leaves. My goodness. When I started with this plant, it was one plant, but I can now see there's like 1, 2, 3, 4 coming off of this pot. It's Insane, absolutely amazing. I actually did some rehabilitation on this plant. It had a long neck or a goose neck, and African violets can do that sometimes. When they're growing, they have a stalk as they're growing, and sometimes the leaves, not sometimes, the leaves do get spent and they fall off. And that what then happens is that stalk remains bare and it gets top heavy because the leaves are coming, new leaves are coming from the top. It gets top heavy and starts to sort of go every which way. And if you're not rotating the plant, it's just going to, fall to the side, which is why it's called a long neck or a gooseneck, right? So I actually chopped the neck of this plant and I repotted it. I think this is the one I chopped. I can't remember. I think it's the one I chopped. And I'll link the video above, but there. That is it now. And it's again living in LECA clay balls. That's the reservoir. It's just beautiful, beautiful, doing so well. This plant is just, I can't tell you how happy this plant is. It is absolutely thriving. And so, of course, you might want to think about converting them from growing in potting mix to growing in semi-hydroponics. And it doesn't even have to be leca. You can use other substrates like pon, you can use pumice, you can use zeolite. There's other mineral blends that you can use that will work just as well. But I use leca and it works fantastically. I recently went to an orchid show and I acquired 2 new African violets. I'll show you that first one and then hang about and you'll see the sport African violet that I talked about in the beginning. This is the first one that I bought. Ooh, I am loving the red. The red just, I saw it and I had to have it because none of my African violets are red. It's in full bloom. And look at those little flowers with the ruffles at the end, looking amazing. The leaves are looking fantastic as well. It is absolutely gorgeous. Now, I might propagate this one. I don't know. I don't know if I want more African violets, to be honest, but African violets are so easy to propagate. Just get a leaf, plonk it in some water, and away you go. You'll get a new plant in no time. One of the things I love about this plant, though, is take a look at that pot. It's in this little self-watering pot that it came in, right? And you can see it's clear at the bottom. You can see the water at the bottom. I'm assuming it's water because this plant is still living in potting mix. So this is exactly how I got it from the seller. And it's got this microfiber rope, which is fantastic. And yeah, that's how that one is living. So obviously, it's not going to keep living in this potting mix for long. I just wanted to make this video to show you what this plant looks like before I transition it to semi-hydroponics. So there's going to be a video that's going to be available soon showing you how I transition this gorgeous baby from living in soil or potting mix to living in semi-hydroponics. And what I'd really love to know is if I'll be able to keep those blooms intact during that process. So I'll be transitioning it soon. Watch this space for that video. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss it. But now for that surprise I promised. This little one is extra special. It's a sport African violet. And for those who don't know, a sport is a genetic mutation that results in unique characteristics like a splash of unexpected color or a change in leaf shape. And this one, well, let's just say she's a showstopper. Isn't she incredible? Nature's little surprise. This sport boasts stunning blooms. They're a mesmerizing blend of lavender and white with a delicate ruffled edge and then one bloom with a deeper lavender or dare I say red. Just amazing. I'm so thrilled to have it in my collection and I cannot wait to see how it grows and evolves in semi-hydroponics. She's still living in soil at the moment because I only just got her and I wanted to show off that sporting color before I move her to semi-hydroponics, and that is going to happen very soon. LECA and semi-hydroponics has truly transformed my African violet journey, and I hope it inspires you to try something new. Remember, it's not just about the growing medium, it's about the love and care that you give your plants. So go ahead and experiment. have fun, and watch your violets flourish. Learn more about how I grow my African violets in semi-hydroponics, how I transition them from soil to leca, and the nutrients that I use in this next video. I'll see you there.